What's up, folk? Welcome to another episode of Conscious Television. We're here to talk about the Supreme Queen's Court and Mother Caldwell. If you guys are interested, then stay tuned. It is a hot ass, pussy melting ass Tuesday. I am not here for it. I had to get my happy-go-lucky ass out there and cut grass because my husband ain't here. So that side yard, and that goddamn backyard made a man out of me. I made a whole man out of me. First and foremost, some of you guys gonna ask about the hair. I had to have a wash day, so I decided to throw my afro puffs in. Plus, it's getting hotter outside than the inside of Kaya's mouth, so I'm not gonna be wearing all that long ass shit for the summer. I'm gonna do like a lot of little short, cute, natural styles. Keep shit up and off the face. Up and off the face. So I just put a cornrow down the middle and put some little jewelry and threw, the afro puffs on both sides. These afro puffs are by Outre. They're called their timeless ponytail. You can find these motherfuckers on Amazon. This is a large. They come in small, medium, and large. And this is blonde. They have them in 3 colors: black, red, and ash gold blonde. I did a review for these. I will put them in the description bar below. You guys can get the link there, and we can carry on. Now, last night, the Queen's Supreme Court premiered. Another great show. Special guest was Wazam Sofa. Is that her name? Wazam Sofa? A super scent. I didn't know who the fuck she was until people were like, this is the girl who created the color crayon palette, which I do want to check out that makeup palette because I love makeup, I love hair, I love all things concerning beauty and so forth. Plus, she's one of us, so I gotta support my melanated people, so I will be purchasing that. She brought a homegirl vibe to Supreme Queen's Court, so I like the dynamic. It was funny as fuck. She was real. She was 100. I knew that a lot of people were complaining about she being a little dull or just being a little dry. I didn't think it was dry. What I'm starting to really appreciate about the Supreme Queen's Court is I personally approach the show more so like from a talk show perspective. So just like Wendy Williams, she's a big personality in and of herself, but she has different guests on. Everybody from Kelly Rowland to Omarosa to Russell Brand. And this is what you expect. So I kind of look at Madison like that. She can run a show all by herself. The bitch doesn't need a guest. She's entertaining all by herself. I enjoy the spice of everybody. As long as you actually fucking talk, unlike Little Mo, like I can get with the show. So I was here for the show last night. I laughed my ass off. Madison looked amazing as usual. The Super Scent looked amazing. I'm not familiar with her content, but I shall go and familiarize myself with it. Now, as you guys probably already know, Sister Caldwell linked up with Hot Fish and Fixident at the Ivory for the Gag Order rehearsals, I guess. Don't know why the bitch need rehearsals. It's not like it makes the show any motherfucking better, but whatever. Apparently, a lot of shit was talked. I did see and catch snippets of what was going on because I don't watch none of them 3 people to the left. I don't carry on with them folk. I don't listen to their shit. I don't watch their shit. And when their shit come up in my news feeds, I politely hit the next button on that ass and keep it pushing. I'm just not entertained. I'm just not entertained. That ain't my flavor. So when I do watch their shit, I have to put myself in a straitjacket and slightly sedate myself just to fucking make it through. But apparently, Sister Caldwell had a lot to say about Mother Mary, or made some comments about Mother Mary and said Destiny's failure were going to come out to the countryside, and apparently that was like a little innuendo as threat. I did catch Madison's response to Sister Caldwell, and it was well fucking needed. The response was warranted. I know a lot of people felt like, Madison, why the fuck you responding to Caldwell? Anytime, your mama comes up in conversations, bitch, it's just time to go to war. I know that for myself. My relatives, they can hold their own, but if I bring them onto my platform and people think that they're going to disrespect my folk and do it publicly, we're going to have the same fucking issues that Madison has with Sister Caldwell, and probably worse, because I don't really do internet beef. Bitches would just have to come up missing. That's just how I personally handle my shit. So anytime y'all motherfuckers catch me in the beef, don't really look out for a video upload. Look out for your 6 o'clock news. If there's going to be a missing person segment, then you'll understand the correlation. I'm not going back and forth with no bitch verbally. It's way too fucking easy. Plus, I was brought up in the non-internet era where you had to beat hoes up. So all this virtual fighting, it is a better way than absolute fucking violence. But I'm a Scorpio. I'm just a violent kind of bitch. But I also want to say this, and this is for everybody. This is now a society conversation. I was looking at Madison's response, and I was, listening to her carry on. And I know she also posted receipts showing that Andrew has been all up in her inbox, trying to get on the show and trying to communicate with her. I did read the exchange between her and Andrew. I thought it was interesting that Madison told Andrew that she was an admirer and a viewer, that she followed him. So then it got me to thinking about how I think it's interesting that as a people, we tend to elevate problematic ass people. And we don't really see these people as an issue until these people make an issue with us. It brings me back to the whole Kaya situation. I remember me and a friend, we were talking about the original Queen's Court, and I was just saying how I personally just was not checking for Kaya on the show. I wasn't checking for her collaborating with Madison. I wasn't checking for Madison opening up her platform to Kaya, because I felt like Kaya was exactly the kind of bitch that she's proven us to be. Disloyal, messy as fuck, selfish as all hell, guttural, and don't give a narcissistic fuck about anybody but herself. And I saw this a mile away, along with a million other fucking people. I'm not the kind of motherfucker who realizes that a bitch will call me a faggot until she calls me a faggot. I knew Kaya would say disrespectful shit about the community because Kaya says disrespectful shit about all the fucking community. She has filth in her soul. Filth as her soul. Filth in her soul. Because of this grit and this dirt and this toxicity and this wickedness within her spirit, I saw the bitch coming a mile away. I would love to see us as a culture, and I don't know if we're going to wake up to this, because at this point, Americans medicate themselves by entertainment. With the war on terror, the war on threat, and the war on the bitch's edges, we now look for any form of entertainment that we can to distract our asses from the reality of our very miserable, little feeble ass existence. And this is getting out of hand because we are essentially extending fucking platform, power, privilege, and influence to motherfuckers who don't deserve it, who are not qualified to do that. And I think the biggest example of this asleepness is, look at who the fuck is the president. We put a bitch who can't even ride a bike in the cockpit of a fucking airplane. We did the same thing with Kaya. A lot of motherfuckers had Kaya's back when she was all cute and cozy and cuddly with Madison, and then when she started calling motherfuckers all type of blouses and Decepticons and fags and fucking punks, the fags, the punks, and the Decepticons then wanted to make a fucking issue about it. Listen, people, you cannot disarm a nuclear missile once the motherfucker has exploded. You have to see the shit coming a mile away. We need to stop having no standard before we decide to give them 1 million views, before we decide to give them $1 million that they will make off of those 1 million views, and then sit here and complain about what the fuck they do with their platforms. So the church created a Andrew Caldwell because the sickness and the ignorance of the church conditions motherfuckers to believe that something is inherently wrong with them. So you have color contact, flag wearing ass queens walking around feeling like God hates them, and so they try to be whatever it is said they should be: real men, godly men, masculine men. They try to adhere to this system and fail miserably. So now you have Andrew Caldwell's running around, and Andrew Caldwell just speaks to a whole fucking community of down low, distorted, broken people who are buying in and sipping the Kool-Aid of conformity and peer pressure instead of being true to themselves and living in a fucking truth. So all of y'all can say that, oh, God does change people, etc. Well, Andrew Caldwell is a prime example that religion doesn't change any fucking body. The church is going to have to beg the question of, what are we going to do with the gays and about the gays? We either gonna neutralize this situation and this judgment on them and let God work that out with those people, or are we going to continue to do what we've been doing, which is judge the shit out of their ass, force them to be something that they not, so that they then can end up with our daughters and try to carry themselves accordingly while still painting their fucking toenails pink? Because a motherfucker gonna live their truth in some way, shape, or form. When Caitlyn Jenner, aka Bruce Jenner, before he transitioned and he gave his interview about his struggle and his situation, he was saying how he would wait till every hoe in the house go to sleep, and then he would parade around the house in Chris's clothes. He would put on her dresses, and he would move about the house. And he would move about the house so elegantly in her gowns and her skirts, just so that he could experience this part of himself. See, people may put on a front for you, and they may put on a front for the congregation, but that motherfucker is living that truth somewhere, and they might just be living it in their heads, and they might play the part outwardly, but they will find some way to come into contact with their own femininity and with their sexuality or their gender expression. And I think it just forces the question of, we got to sit down and have a real conversation. And I'm talking about the church got to have this conversation, because the world has already dealt with it and moved the fuck on. But this is still an epidemic, and it's still a war of doctrine and theology as far as the church is concerned. So if the church don't want entities like Andrew Caldwell running around making a mockery of Christ, of the Spirit, of the Bible, of the book, of the institution, then the church is going to have to become a lot more spiritual and a lot less dogmatic. Mother Caldwell is a distortion. There's already neurologically a few screws loose up there, if you know what I mean, on top of all the psychological damage that the church does when it comes to LGBT persons' minds and states of consciousness. So there's layers of issues there, which is why I don't speak on Mother Caldwell. I don't speak on the handicapped. I don't speak on the mentally retarded. And the church created it, and the church gonna have to uncreate it, but also for the public. Y'all motherfuckers also do y'all part in giving the Kayas and the AT aliens and the Andrew Caldwells and the whoever else y'all deem as problematic platforms, all out of vain humor. And then as soon as these motherfuckers use their platforms and their influence to shake the fucking table in your reality, then all of a sudden they shouldn't be where they are. But we gotta think about that shit before they even get there. We gotta think about, is this bitch worth the click? Are they worth the view? And we gotta stand for fucking something. Like, when does character come into play? Where does your accountability come into play? Madison, she read the dog face out of Sister Caldwell. Sister Caldwell is a hot ass mess. Tell me what you guys think. I have some videos coming up this week. I know I was supposed to put out Basketball Wives, but my iPhone got fucked up and I couldn't record. So then I had to go take my iPhone 6, which I don't use, to T-Mobile so that they can unlock this motherfucker, put a SIM card in this motherfucker so I can use the camera off this motherfucker. And I wasn't able to do that until like late afternoon yesterday. So if you guys still want that review, go ahead and let me know below, and I'll still knock out last week's review and plus give y'all this episode, which is episode 4 of Basketball Wives review this week as fucking wow. So thank you guys for tuning in and watching. Let me know your thoughts below. Rate, share, comment, you know, all that good shit. And damn show, don't leave until you hit that notification bell. And I will talk to you guys later. One.